Hello, everyone. Here we are. We're going to do Ecclesiastes 12. Now, this is the last book, and then we're going to go into the Song of Solomon. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. He's talking about old age. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars grow dark and the clouds return after the rain, when the keepers of the house tremble and the strong men stoop, when the grinders cease because they are few and those looking through the windows grow dim, when the doors to the street are closed and the sound of grinding fades, when people rise up at the sound of birds but all their songs grow faint, when people are afraid of heights and of dangers in the streets, when the almond tree blossoms and the grasshopper drags itself along, and desire no longer is stirred, then people go to their eternal home, and mourners go about the streets. Remember him before the silver cord is severed and the golden bowl is broken, before the pitcher is shattered at the spring and the wheel broken at the well, and the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Everything is meaningless. Not only was the teacher wise, this is the conclusion, but he also imparted knowledge to the people. He pondered and searched out and set in order many proverbs. The teacher searched to find just the right words, and what he wrote was upright and true. The words of the wise are like goads, G-O-A-D-S, like things to goad along, perhaps a cow or a steer. They're collected sayings like firmly embedded nails given by one shepherd. Be warned, my son, of anything in addition to them. In other words, keep it simple. Of making many books there's no end, and much study wearies the body. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it's good or evil. Okay? I'm going to give you a quick overview of the book of Ecclesiastes. I'm going to sum up each one, and I found this in Useful Bible Studies. That's what it's called. Chapter 1, the summary is, there are powerful forces in this world, but even the greatest people are really very weak. Chapter 2, work, wealth, and pleasure cannot satisfy people. Chapter 3, God makes everything beautiful at the proper time, and this was the To Everything There Is a Season chapter. So God makes everything beautiful at the proper time. Chapter 4, people's efforts are often without any real purpose. Chapter 5, respect God and do not love money. Chapter 6, success in life does not satisfy a person's real needs. Our real need is a relationship with our Father, the Lord. Chapter 7, as people are guilty of many wrong and evil deeds, they must think about their lives seriously. Chapter 8, the process of judgments in this world does not give a good life to everyone. Chapter 9, the same kinds of events happen in everybody's lives, but people should still desire wisdom. Chapter 10, foolish desires and lazy attitudes cause serious troubles. Chapter 11, most people are not preparing in a sensible manner for the day when God will be their judge. Chapter 12, only a right relationship with God can prepare you for old age, death, and the judgment of God. All right, so now we're going to go into Song of Solomon, and I'm going to give you an overview of it. The Song of Solomon is a series of lyrical poems organized as a lengthy dialogue between a young woman and her lover. A third party or chorus occasionally addresses the lovers. The first poem is spoken by the young maiden who longs to be near her lover and enjoy his kisses. She explains that she has a dark complexion because her family sends her to work in the vineyards. She searches for her lover, comparing him to a wandering shepherd, and the chorus encourages her to follow the flocks to his tent. Okay, so we're going to go with chapter 1. All right, here we go. She let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the young women love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. That was the chorus, the friends, it says. Now she says, how right they are to adore you. Dark am I, yet lovely. Daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Don't stare at me because I'm dark, because I'm darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. Tell me, you whom I love, where you graze your flock and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends? And the friends say, if you do not know, most beautiful of women, follow the tracks of the sheep and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherds. And then he says, I liken you, my darling, to a mare among Pharaoh's chariot horses. Your cheeks are beautiful with earrings, your neck with strings of jewels. I told you jewelry was a good thing. We will make you earrings of gold studded with silver. While the king was, and now this is her, so it's going back and forth. While the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-Gedi. He says, how beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes are doves. She says, how handsome you are, my beloved. Oh, how charming. And our bed is verdant. He says, the beams of our house are cedars. Our rafters are firs, meaning like fir trees. All right, so now let me read you about the second chapter. While in bed, the maiden dreams that she's searching the city streets for her lover and that she finds him and takes him home. She envisions a lavish wedding procession in which her happy bridegroom appears as King Solomon. The man speaks, comparing each part of the maiden's body to animals and precious objects. He calls for her to come down from the mountain peaks to be with him. With intense yearning, he characterizes her as an enclosed garden full of ripe foliage and a flowing fountain. The maiden bids the wind to blow on her garden and invites the man into the garden. The man dines in the garden and calls for their friends to celebrate with the lovers. All right, so let's do chapter 2. And we will end it there. Here we go. This is kind of a mystery, this book, isn't it? And there's lots of different ways that people have likened it, you know, to the love of God, Jesus's love for the church. All right, so chapter 2, she says, I'm a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. And he says, like a lily among thorns is my darling among the young woman. She says, like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. Let him lead me to the banquet hall, and let his banner over me be love. Strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I'm faint with love. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. Listen, my beloved, look, listen, my beloved, here. He comes, leaping across the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Look, There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice. My beloved spoke and said to me, "Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. See, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come. The cooing of doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me." And then he says, "My dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the hiding places on the mountainside, show me your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. Catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom." She says, "My beloved is mine and I am his. He browses among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee. Turn, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or like a young stag on the rugged hills." And that's that. Tomorrow we'll do chapter 3. So if you love poetry, or you're a writer of poetry or an artist of some type, this book should satisfy you because it is really, truly very beautiful. I love you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.